Welcome back to another video. This is the start of a brand new Nintendo console generation. I'm super excited as an old school Nintendo fan. So I want to try and talk about everything that was shown. Of course, I know I'm going to miss some things, but let's start off with the new Mario Kart game. Now, I'm just completely and totally excited about this game. It looks amazing. Look at the character details and the animation, just the little details that stand out. But the big hook for this one is, and I can't believe it, it's entirely open world. So yes, you're racing on the track. Yes, you want to win the race, but at any time, much like in the Forza Horizon games, if you want to go left and right off of the track and just explore the entire world with some friends, you can do that and then head back to the track, jump right back into the race. And what's even more amazing to me is that when the race is over, it's not over. You're actually racing to the next track for better position when the race starts. So the game, essentially, once you begin it, you're in it, and it just never stops. So I'm just blown away by the detail here. Look at the detail in the game. Look at the reflections. Look at the character models, the polygon count, all of that stuff just blew me away. And what I love about this right from the start, and I know most people won't agree with me, but I love the fact that they don't focus in on resolution and frame rate. They're just showing you the games running on the hardware, and the games look great. That's how we did it back in the day. You simply looked at a video of a game or in a magazine, and you got excited about it. You're like, oh, I can't believe the game looks like that. And then you take it home and you purchase the game and you play it and you have a great time. Yes, the tech is important and we're going to get to that, but I love the fact that they're still doing this. They're still just showing games, talking to us directly and getting us excited about how the games look when we're playing them, how they feel, what the gameplay innovation is, how is it different from the last entry in the series. So I was super excited about it. Some more gameplay footage here. I don't know. I'm just excited, guys. I don't know what to say. This just, as an old guy thinking back to playing like the original Mario Kart all the way up until now, I'm just blown away by this. I look forward to playing this game, to exploring the world, maybe even hopping online with some people and just having a ton of fun in this game. They talk about weather effects, on-track weather effects, and it's not just, an effect to make the game look better, but it's actually going to affect the track in different ways. So, of course, water will make the track slippery. The lighting environments might be a little bit darker, making seeing ahead a bit different. Fog might obscure your vision. All of these things tied into classic Mario Kart styled gameplay. Love the UI. I just love everything about what was shown here, and I'm super, super excited to get this game when it launches on the Switch 2. Next up, they talked about the Joy-Con 2 and the infamous, mysterious C button. And of course, it is simply to do everything, enabling chat and sharing and just this full suite of features for you. And I think it's really, really exciting because it ties into something else that they're selling along with the Switch too. So yeah, you could play by yourself, sure, but if you hit that C button, you can add friends and you can actually see a little window at the bottom of the screen to what they're playing, or if you're all playing the same game together, you can party chat. You can also put your image in the game if you purchase the camera. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can take videos, you can screenshot. Now, there's no word on whether or not you can actually stream your gameplay to, say, Twitch or YouTube, which I would absolutely love, but so far, no word on that yet. So they demonstrate party chat. You see people jumping in here. You see them represented on screen. It's nothing new if you've played multiplayer games before with people, but I like the addition, and I like the way that Nintendo does it. There's always that Nintendo spin on things that I appreciate. There's a mic, so yes, you don't need a headset. You can talk a la the PlayStation DualSense controller, but they added in some things like noise cancellation. So of course, if you're speaking and somebody's doing something in the background, you want your voice to come through as clear as possible. Now, they didn't really demonstrate how clear this is, and I'm not expecting like an amazing audio experience or anything like that, but I do think it's interesting, and I think it's a step forward for Nintendo. If you're a Nintendo fan, this is exciting. Sitting here, hitting the C button, screen sharing, the audio features, you can actually watch different people play different games instead of everyone playing the same game. Looks just so much fun to just use this C button. It looks really interesting, and I'd be interested to know, again, if you can do streaming, because I think that's something that Nintendo's sort of been a little bit sort of iffy with. I know they don't like direct streaming from their system to, say, YouTube or Twitch. I'm not sure why. If you know, let me know in the comments section below. There's ways to do it, sure, but a native solution would be really exciting for me as somebody who just likes to put my gameplay up on my channel, and somebody who's really, really into Nintendo and their IPs and their games and their ideas and things like that. But I think the C button is pretty interesting, and I like the fact that they baked it into the hardware. They took their time with it. Yes, people have been complaining for a long time about party chat and game friends and stuff like that with Nintendo, but I like the idea of being able to share a screen like that. Now, in the video you're seeing, it's kind of like slowed down a bit. It looks like there's some slowdown. I don't know if that's just a compression in the video. I don't expect it to really look like that while you're playing the game, but it's interesting. I'm really excited about it. I like the idea of being able to hop on with somebody and just have a good time, because it's much different. I got to be honest with you. It's much different going online and playing on a Nintendo system with Nintendo fans than it is trying to engage on PlayStation and Xbox. It's just, in my opinion, it's more of a base of gamers that are interested in just having fun with video games, engaging with the game, the world, talking about it, being excited about it. I haven't really run into any negativity when I've been doing that the way I have with PlayStation and Xbox, but there's a new Nintendo Switch 2 camera, and yes, I've seen people jumping up and down, screaming about the return of Kinect, but this isn't Kinect. It's not always on, it's not listening to you all the time, and it's not necessary, but for the full suite of features with the C button, yeah, that's absolutely necessary. Take a look at the bottom of the screen, being able to show yourself with your gameplay behind you, with 3 other people, either playing the same game or doing anything while talking to you, having a good time. This is pretty exciting for Nintendo. This is a big step forward in terms of sharing. And take a look at this. You can literally put yourself in the game, connected to the character that you choose while you're playing a game. It's just another way to have a lot of fun, and seeing somebody's expression while you're playing with them, just the joy on everybody's face when they're playing these great, really fun games. I'm excited about this. And I got to be honest with you, the C button, everybody was like, what the hell is the C button? They absolutely, positively nailed it. Now, yes, party chats happened before. Yes, video chats happened before. I get it. You're going to see tons of negativity from people. Negativity is the currency of the influencer on social media. Stay away from it. For Nintendo and Nintendo fans, this is absolutely a game changer and looks to be an incredibly fun thing to play around with and feature in games. Now, there are a ton of games coming to the Nintendo Switch, and yes, there are third-party games launching with this system day one, but they talked about the specs of the system in a way that I enjoy. I'm not really interested in teraflops, gigaflops, CPUs, and GPUs. I'm interested in how games look. Look at how amazing this game looks. And on a Nintendo Switch, 4K 60 frames per second HDR in quality mode, 1080p 120 frames per second HDR, both handheld mode and in docked. You're talking about 4K 60 HDR. That's where I'm going to go. Take a look at Metroid Prime. I mean, I don't know. I'm super excited about the fact that, these games are going to quote unquote look better. Now, I'm not one of these people that jumps up and down about resolution and frame rate. I've never been, but quality of life improvement, sure. If they're offering me, I will take them. I think Metroid Prime Remaster on the Switch in dock mode looks amazing. So Metroid Prime 4, jumping up and down about 4K and 60 frames per second, or 1080p and 120 frames per second. I'm sure there's an audience for that out there. Maybe it's the more hardcore fan that doesn't want to try Nintendo games because of resolution. I don't know why you would be that way, but there are some people like that. So maybe it's for those people. There are upgrade packs for older Switch 1 games to take advantage of the features of the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm sure that's going to be a sore point for some people, but look at it this way. How many times have you purchased The Last of Us 2? And are you excited about Days Gone Remaster? So I'll leave it at that. Then, of course, the third-party onslaught began. And I got to point out, I don't want to be messy here, folks, but I got to point out, all I saw online was third parties don't have development kits. It's going to be all Nintendo first party for the first 6 months of the system's launch. And then in the middle of 2025 is when third parties were going to release games. And here we have this direct. And there are multiple third-party games launching, not coming, but launching day one on the Switch 2. So, of course, Elden Ring is coming to the Switch 2. I'm sure people are going to be super excited about that. Me, I absolutely suck at From Software games. They make me insane. I hate dying 700 times, but it's a popular game. Then you've got Hades 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And by the way, folks, a lot of these games are launching with the Switch. Not all of them. Do your homework. Go online, go to Nintendo's website, look up some of your favorite games to see the release dates. I don't want to give out any accurate or inaccurate information. I don't want to give out any inaccurate information and tell you that a game is launching with the Switch 2 when it isn't. But there were a ton of games launching with the Switch from third parties. Street Fighter 6 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Huge third-party games. Yakuza 0 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. There was just an onslaught of third-party game announcements for the Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of people have been down on Nintendo with third-party support. Maybe third parties weren't taking Nintendo seriously. I never really felt that way. I always felt that if you sell a lot of systems, third parties have to pay attention to you no matter what. Now, here we are with third-party support on the Nintendo Switch 2. Tons of unique games coming. Daemon Machina looks pretty cool to me. At first, I thought this was like a Zone of the Enders type games. I don't know why I felt that. Maybe because I'm ancient. And for some reason, I've been thinking about Zone of Enders and that pack-in of Metal Gear Solid 2, the demo that came with it. Everybody ran out and bought that. And Zone of the Enders was a pretty good game, by the way. But let's get back to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Speaking of those third parties that don't have Switch 2 development kits, well, Split Fiction is launching day one on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now you might say to yourself, but worry, this isn't like a big game. Well, there are plenty of big games. I don't know what that means, big game, small game, but okay. There are plenty of big games launching day and date on the Nintendo Switch, and there were plenty of big games announced third-party wise coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. But this one is coming at launch. I never played this game. I don't really want to play with somebody else in my house, but the word is that the game is extremely fun. Of course, EA is showing up on the Nintendo Switch. Why wouldn't they? I'm sure it's going to be a huge selling system, so they want to be there as well. Then you've got Hogwarts Legacy coming to the Switch 2. I have this on the Switch. It's a miracle that they got the game to even work on the Switch, but it's a great game, and I love this game so much. I can see myself buying it again on the Switch 2 and playing through it and using all those share features and maybe even the Joy-Cons in those unique ways. I'm not much for motion control and stuff like that, but I'll give it a shot. Then you've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. These are, this might not seem like a huge announcement, but these are big titles coming to the Nintendo system. So I think it's huge. I really do. I think it's important to get these kind of titles. I think it's important to maybe sway people a bit who maybe think to themselves, well, Nintendo is too kiddie as they run around as Master Chief in green space armor and shoot aliens with purple blood. That's incredibly adult. But maybe some of those people will wake up a bit and try some of the Nintendo IPs that are, in my opinion, always the best when you compare it to its peers in the industry. But that's just my opinion. Next up, we've got Christian Elverdam of IO Interactive and the Hitman series coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. I believe this is coming at launch as well. I could be wrong about that, but another third-party big game coming to the Switch 2. Yes, folks, if you played these games before on your PlayStation 5, then you don't play them again, but I think it's cool having these not only on the Switch, but also being able to play them portably if you're into playing portably with your Switch. Nintendo Switch Online just leaped forward. This is the best value in gaming. This is how you do a subscription-based online gaming service. Legacy software, not your brand new IP, legacy software, and Nintendo has a legacy better than anybody else in the industry, and now Nintendo GameCube classics are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Leading the way is the game everyone has been clamoring for to come in an HD version to the Nintendo Switch, and that's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. This is one of my favorite Zelda games. It was very controversial at launch, but it's one of my favorites. Soul Calibur 2. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. I could see people simply subscribing to Nintendo Switch Online for this title. This is how big this game was when it launched way back when, folks. You know, when we used to spend tons of money for video games and didn't really complain about it. But F-Zero GX is coming, and this was, I think it was one of the first 60 frames per second locked games in that generation on the GameCube. It was an incredible experience if you played it when it launched. There was nothing like this when it launched. And to be able to go in and play it again with friends using that C button, imagine using the full suite of sharing features playing these classics. Wind Waker, I can't wait for these GameCube classics. Please, Nintendo, can we get Eternal Darkness? Can it happen? Oh, if that happened, I would just be insane, because the price of these games has been driven up to astronomical levels. It's insane to pay the price that some people are asking for these games. Luigi's Mansion, the first game, is going to be in there. Great game. Cannot wait for GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. Then we've got Borderlands 4 coming to Switch 2, another huge third-party game coming to the Nintendo Switch. And then they close the show with something that I was completely blown away by. I love the fact that they didn't give Mario the spotlight. We know a new Mario game is in development, obviously, but they gave the spotlight to something, and I'm watching this and I'm like, what is this? And then when I saw this, I thought, wow, this cannot be a Donkey Kong open world 3D platformer. And it absolutely was. This game looks incredible. Nintendo does platforming games better than anybody else in the industry. Everybody looks to what they do and they copy it. And I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm just saying it's a fact, folks. If you look at your favorite platformer today, it's a carbon copy of ideas that Nintendo has cultivated over the years. This looks incredible running on the Switch 2. Just look at it. I mean, I don't have to say anything. This is what I love about this Nintendo. Well, the way they do things, I just get excited. I can't even speak sometimes. I get so excited. I love the fact that they're just showing you the game. Nobody's sitting around saying, I wonder if this is 4K. I wonder if it's 8K. Is this 60 frames per second? The people that are doing that are not interested in video games. The people that watch this, think about the history of this game, look at something like this and think Donkey Kong Country 2D level mixed into a wide open 3D world, the gameplay mechanics, the gameplay innovation, the chances at new types of gameplay in this world, exploring the characters, the colors. I mean, you just can't ask for anything better. This game is going to be huge on the Nintendo Switch 2. I loved this showcase, my Nintendo Switch 2. I'm already pre-ordering it on the Nintendo Switch 2 website. You can go there, you can register your interest, you can lock yourself in, and they will email you when it's ready to pre-order. Can't wait. Let me know what you think of the presentation, like and subscribe, and I'll see you online on the Switch 2.